Welcome to another episode of Xpandable by Fibonacci X. Xpandable is a series of conversations where we speak to founders, operators, investors, and try to demystify the nuances of venture building. Hopefully, you find these conversations useful. Thank you. So, thank you, Shashank, for joining us.
It's my deep honor.
So, we met roughly a couple of years ago when we were starting to put together a team for Fibonacci X. Transitioning to venture platform kind of a model, and I was amazed by your journey. You spent a lot of time at MapMyIndia, and then you started dabbling with early stage founders, and then you yourself joined in, I would say, a funded startup in EV space. So why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about who you are, what you're doing, etc., and what has been your professional journey?
First of all, thanks for inviting me, and it's always a pleasure when we are joining the Friend podcast. As you say, I know you from last 2 years, and a good quality about you. I was always waiting to know your the disciplined behavior and that abundance knowledge of the financial sector. That always excites me. Regarding me, I started my career in 2003. I landed Delhi in 2003 to be very precise. And then I started my career. I got a break for, the telecom sector. In 2003, it was a telecom boom. And I was used to sell company-owned, company-operated SIM connections, etc. and big corporate clients. That's where the DNA of corporate sales came in me. I think when I was in Idea Cellular in the Delhi zone, at the time I serviced a customer, it was L&T, ONGC, thus such kind of the big clientele. And doing that, I got a break to serve HP IPAC. Why I'm putting this name? Because in 2007 era, it was a BlackBerry era. And at the time, accessing email was a privilege. At the time, I got hired for a Delhi NCR where we were used to sell GPS phone. So first 5-6 years, I was a part of telecom industry. And during that journey, when I started, the selling the map phone, at that time, I came to know that about MapMyIndia. And you will be amazed that my luck has brought to MapMyIndia, where I stopped 13.5 years, and fortunate that where I serviced, got chance to facilitate location-based services to most of the OEM, and today 90% car where navigations are coming, I was part of that. All the car maker, and I saw the journey where all the car were coming without navigation, where even the car maker were saying, what is the use of navigation when you can ask any palwala to reach any destination. But somehow the journey from that, I saw that every car is coming with a premium experience. And today you will see that most of the car, 90% car are coming with a navigation loaded. And that's where I also got chance to learn about the happening EV. When Maruti was launching their, that test vehicle, so that time I was also doing that prototype work with Maruti, MG Motor, and one more client was there. So that's where I got fascinated about EV. And you won't believe that when Bull.Earth was raising their seed plus round, I got excited and I onboarded them in a seed plus round in my personal capacity also on a cap table. And now I'm glad I am serving them as a vice president automotive. So these are my overall, that telecom, I will say mobile to automobile journey. From automobile industry, I've been involved more than 15 years.
Correct. So MapMyIndia, obviously, everybody knows the story, right? And we have read about a couple who starts mapping the streets by walking on the streets, and that becomes a public limited company.
Yeah.
And a huge value is unlocked. So, talk about that story. Like, are there any lessons for founders building in today's time from that story?
It's founded by Mr. Rakesh Verma and Rasmi Verma, and everyone respect for their great work, and they build it from their suite. I think, to be very frank, I saw there, the deep passion of building that, company, a company, and I will say that a tech infra, treating the entire team members, and they're deeply involved, and the entire, that success credit goes to the founder. And one thing I have to learn, that even at this stage, he's very much passionate, and every day he's devoting his all time. So
dedication,
dedication is there.
inner drive.
Yes, and yeah.
And did they take any professional money from outside when they were starting up, or did it happened organically?
When I joined, I think in 2008, I think after that they had a two round of, I think one round they raised, that is a Qualcomm venture. They had raised it in some time, and then after that one of the Japanese Genrin had joined, and then they went for IPO.
Okay.
So I had seen that two round of fundraise was there, but so yeah.
Okay. But initial years it was bootstrapped.
I joined a little bit late in 2008, and initial time I will say that I was limited to there also, to that servicing handset makers industry. From 2011, I got very seriously involved in automobile engagement.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And you also mentioned telecom. Now, telecom, I think as an industry, I remember when the first wave came, the bigger handphones, and then the second wave like Nokia 1100s. Then we moved to smartphones like HTC, and then iPhone, and now Oppo and other players, right? So it has been an interesting journey. So many players have left, don't exist now, like Hutch and all these players. So, and because you were involved in that phase when it was unlocking, right? A lot of things were happening in the early phase when the telecom spectrum opened up for private players. So, how do you look at telecom now in India?
Very interesting story I can share you, that Destiny has selected my joining in MapMyIndia. I haven't selected. When I was servicing HP IPAC, we were offered by the country manager, Mr. Gaurav was there. He offered in the month of April with very target that if all of us do good, we will have out of country incentive. As an incentive, it will be out of country visit. After a few months, Apple has announced iPhone in $100, $200.
2007.
2007.
Yeah.
No, 2008, March or April.
Okay.
To be very frank. Okay. Apple has globally announced that they will sell the phone at $100 to $200. And immediately there was a very serious meeting among HP team, and we got 3-month paid notice. They suddenly decided to wrap it down. They just executed handheld business. It was not handset, it was handheld business. And that's where I got connected with MapMyIndia, and I joined them because we were doing some GPS testing. So at the time it was a voice. When we were saying it was a touch screen, HTC was selling phone only due to touch and Windows OS. So I have seen that journey. But after arrival of Google OS, today you are seeing the Windows OS itself was struggling on phone. Even they purchased the Nokia, etc., but they're not succeeding. Now, there is a different phase of telecom because thanks to WhatsApp. Every phone has WhatsApp. That's why phone has internet. And since phone has internet, you are able to do the tons of other works. I still remember when I was reaching on behalf of MapMyIndia to the seller product to the Aircel, their West division. So they started in 2012, internet in your pocket. That was their thing. And it didn't fly well in that time. But today, the same logic, you can say the Geo is building everything around that business ecosystem, that internet is your pocket, and our Gen Z is saying that you have a 10-minute delivery, you have every services, Zomato, all business ecosystem around GPS, all your data. So today, operator has a different game. That's why Bharti or Geo is thriving, because they have a more weightage to data than voice. So voice is one of the enabler, but data is the value addition, a core of their telecom offering. So data goes to now the enterprise version, to the call center, end-to-end SIM, everything. So undoubtedly, data is your need. That is your first, just like air. So if you are building any tech product, any services, you need data.
Earlier, the focus was on voice. And SMS and text messaging. Yeah, so that's interesting, and I think this GPS and location availability has unlocked so many startups. Let's say start with Uber, cannot function without location services.
True.
Right. So I think that's when these startups also came up, when GPS was available through iPhone in the US.
Very true.
That's when Uber could see that in future, okay, we can check the location and we can reach the customer, etc.
I was hired in MapMyIndia to sell the navigation software. The product name was iNav, and the cost was 3,500 rupees of that hardware. So in 2008 to 9 times, so it was just reachable to the top society. They were having any phone, smartphone, 50,000 onward, it was a privilege. And then they were purchasing navigation software for 3,500. So just imagine that at the time, if you were thinking those kind of the services, it was not possible, because those kind of phone reaches were limited to 3-4% of Indians. So today you think GPS phone starting is from 5,000 onward. A good smartphone which is 5,000 onward, it has GPS, and then internet is accessible with a 199 pack, etc. So we have a 90% market coverage with these two basic features. So you can build your any kind of mobility services or e-commerce services or delivery services. So it's possible.
Right. So the smartphone penetration and then cheapening of the data, right?
True.
Both have unlocked many things for the whole ecosystem. Okay. Now we come to EV, which is where you are operating now.
Sure.
I feel that going forward, this is just my inflection or insight about future. And why EV is important, I'll come to that. First is huge focus on sustainability we have seen over last 8 years, 10 years. Second is EV, I think, is where software and hardware both kind of combine.
True.
So we need people who know the software but can also do little bit manufacturing, and they have the know-how of the product.
Yeah.
Which was a rare skill. If you ask me 10 years back, the focus was solely on the software, right?
True.
Now suddenly EV has brought back that focus on battery manufacturing, on two-wheeler, on three-wheeler. So I think it's an interesting space. So engineering, education, what we are grooming our future talent to be, I think it's a lesson that some of the skills we still require beyond software, right?
True.
So talk about why is EV important for India?
It's $1 million question, because when I go any EV conferences or forum, or last I met one person, so they start why EV, And that's where the first, we have to understand that a country policy we have to discuss. And let's simplify why EV. Before that, let's go to the root cause. On 2nd October 2016, India has signed Paris Agreement on climate change. With what promise? Promise was using alternate energy source other than fossil oil and implementing more trees to reduce the pollution. So basically, it was around less carbon footprint promised by the government of India and achieving SDG goal. That's the first. Today we have a three kind of the fuel. Either we can buy the petrol vehicle, diesel vehicle, both are fossil oil, and or we can go CNG, or we can go EV. So if you see that we have a three kind of the choices as an end user. So if country has to work toward alternate fossil oil, by default CNG again has the limitation, EV again have the limitation. So then country has decided that India has launched its national EV policy, targeting as a first milestone that 2030 EV policy that says that 30% minimum EV penetration. Out of that, 80% penetration we want by 2030 for two-wheeler and three-wheeler. 30% EV will be a penetration you want for four-wheeler, passenger car. 70% all commercial vehicle. So this is a company, sorry, I will say the country, desire where we want to reach and we want to save ourselves. That is a country goal. Now coming back on that statement, Government of India also decided to take this as an opportunity that why not we generate more, I will say that job in that infrastructure, because same EV makes, then Government of India decided that make India as a global hub for EV manufacturing. All we know that today China leads. So then India also took that, let's make India as a global hub to generate the jobs, manufacturing facilities. Then you rightly said that, in India, we have a better hand-holding on a software. We have more software skill set than, the hardware skill set, because so EV by default, it's a software-driven vehicle. Normal, if you make a normal vehicle, so once mechanical is done, you can just sell overnight to across India. But the moment you want to launch EV vehicle, whether it's a two-wheeler, four-wheeler, three-wheeler, you have to offer a user experience, differentiated, seamless charging experience, their OTA support. Then the biggest is the range anxiety. You have to showcase on a screen that how far this vehicle will go. So that's where the new trend is software-driven vehicle. And India has immense, that capacities or a software skill set. We can contribute a lot. And that's where now you will see that every car OEM or vehicle OEM, everyone is talking about EV. Last week we had 18 to 22, we had Auto Expo in Pragati Maidan. And most of the car OEM, even Maruti has introduced their e-Vitara, then Hyundai has introduced, then Mahindra showcased their product. So now there is a rush among all OEM to introduce their e-vehicle in all segments, in a two-wheeler, three-wheeler, every segment, every OEM is, just talking about EV, because they see that the opportunity. One side they can launch their product as per the need and offer to variety to the user. Other side, they also align with the country.
Right. So this is from the supply side.
Yeah.
From demand side, how do you see the trends for EV vehicles?
The good part is that I have seen, that EV transformation from 2016-17 onward. So till few months back, a few years back, people were thinking EV will happen or not happen. That was the first question. Now, no one has a doubt EV is happening. You will see that immense competition in every segment. and you will see that every company is showcasing their, that innovative product, whether it's a supply chain side, it's a battery side, it's a charging side, the infra side, motor, drivetrain, everything. You will see that India has really worked very hard. In fact, one of the homegrown company, Ola, went public. Now other Ether is going to be public. So we reached a very significant stage where we have our own mark on a EV ecosystem. So in a two-wheeler, three-wheeler, almost 70-80% EV sales are happening. So EV is happening. You just see that data says that overall TVS sale, including ICE and EV, 25% EVs are contributing the sales. Bajaj, name OEM maker, they have a 23% contribution in their overall sales. So, and now because Hero has also launched their Vida model, but they are a little bit playing both because they own the Ether 50 majority stake.
Correct.
So Ether is selling 100%. So the point is that, now people want not the EV, they want little bit experiential product. People are expecting the better quality of EV. These are the discussions. So EV part is done. Now is every OEM is, there is a change in automobile sector. Earlier, everyone saying automobile. The good part is that now every OEM after EV era, they want to come and say, we are not automobile, we are mobility company. So that's a little bit surprising that OEM itself is coming to craft a different story that they are a mobility company. The reason is that if you go purchase any showroom, if you go in a showroom, they will just give you over a plate. This is a car, these are the banking, financing, all the arrangements, and job is done. The pain with EV is that your vehicle is ready. You can't overnight you launch across nation. You have to go phase-wise manner, city to city-wise manner, because before you launch and start selling, you have to work with the infra partner. Today, we are helping. I think let me introduce where I am contributing. Bull.earth has started its journey in 2017. It's started with a pioneer of two bits planning pass out Mohit Yadav and Jyoti Ranjan, and based in Bangalore, and they started their journey to make charging experience reachable to every Indian. That was their theme, and today I'm glad to say that Bull.earth is India's fastest, I will say the largest, fastest and most utilized charging network in India, with the 36,000 charge point deployment is done with across 1600 cities, and as per data of government data, our network coverage has reached 64% market share, and it's peer-to-peer charging network. Same device, we allow user to make it private, public, semi-public as they want, and we offer entire range of the services to them for a seamless experience. And our motto is that let's make charging experience smarter, safer, connected, and so these kind of that easiness we are bringing on table for a user.
So 34,000,
36,000
charging points, and that is how many charging points are there in the overall market, roughly?
These two gentlemen research very well, and the research says that 90% of charging utilizations are happening at home.
Okay.
When you think about any charging infra, you will hear that all big brand will come and they will say that, okay, I'm installing at the highway, this and that. They will talk to the big infra. That is a public fast charging.
Correct.
That's where you just do the emergency charge. And today, if the data says that currently all CPO partners, their utilization is not more than 5%. It's still in a capex investing, building infra, utilizations, but either you charge at home, either you charge at office. These are the universal trend in US also, and here in India also. And recently, Tata Motor has also published their research white paper with the same statement that 90% charging happen at either home or office, and broadly we say community charger. So, and Bolt operate in that space. Bolt at Earth, and we are marking our that very significant presence there, because we have uh, in-house software EV stack where we control our design of the hardware, integrated with our software platform, and we have our in-house and associated trainer installation people. So as a user, we offer seamless charging experience. That okay, you want Bolt charging services. Okay, this is the hardware as per your choice: two-wheeler, three-wheeler, four-wheeler, and then we just give them the installation, mobile applications where you can scan, pay, and charge. And then it comes with a CMS application, and then we offer up top of that 24/7 call center support.
Okay. Do you think so? Before that, I mean, I'll come to the ecosystem.
Yeah.
One of the investors I was speaking to, and he had in the previous episodes, he had an interesting comment about EV, that it's not clean because we are just shifting the pollution away to the power generation plants, away from the crowded cities. But still, large part of our electricity is from fossil fuels, unlike, let's say, if I compare globally. So as a young analyst, I used to cover power generation for 5-6 years.
Fantastic.
So I used to look at electricity grids in US, in Europe, in India, what is happening to different grids, and how much is the installed capacity, and how much is the gap, and how many power plants are coming online, etc., etc. So I think large part of our power generation comes from fossil fuels, and versus a country like France where 80% is nuclear, or Japan where a large part is nuclear, and US is mostly gas driven, right?
True.
The baseline production, right? Obviously, renewable can never become the baseline because in night time we don't have the sun, and we have very limited ability to store it, that energy which we generate. I mean, although there is some progress now, is there a kind of a mismatch between that we are just shifting the pollution away from crowded parts of the country to the part where we are generating power, which is anyways driven by fossil fuels, coal largely?
Let's break this question in two parts.
Correct.
The part one is that he's absolutely right. Today, EV is not up to the mark green mobility. But when you start your journey, you don't reach your destination overnight. So India has set green mobility as its target. So EV has not reached to the maturity stage like fossil fuel atmosphere, fossil fuel vehicle, and you indirectly you are talking the supply chain. The supply chain is that if we are talking the EV vehicle through the coal power based the grid supply, then it achieved a significant carbon footprint reduction. But the moment we introduced renewable energy sources, powered charging infra services, and then we are talking about EV, then it reached a very substantial amount of the carbon footprint reductions, because I was just going some research that it says that 1 kilometer around 200 or 250 CO2. If you drive 1 kilometer, then one vehicle will generate around 200 to 250 CO2 in a normal ICE vehicle. If you do with the normal EV vehicle, it will give you around 100 to 150. The moment it goes to RE powered EV charging ecosystem, it reduced to 10 to 30 grams CO2. So basically, in today's scenario, we just compare that we have to go there. In that scenario, we will just reduce our 90% carbon footprint. So I see this as a forward planning. You know, as an analyst, all we talk about the future. So India has to reach there. Point one. Second, India has a climate advantage. All we are Indian is a hot. We have a hot geography. We are fortunate. We have a sun in abundance. You know, the nature. If you're talking US, etc., they have a culture of sun bath because they see sunny day very seasonally. They see that, but we every day we face sun is available. Of course, it's not in night, but in daytime we see. After having this advantage, now there is another facility. The battery storage technology is improving. So there is a next technology, grid to vehicle and grid to vehicle to grid. So if you just think down the line, that upcoming technology that you are installing a solar panel at your rooftop, you are you are using entire your vehicle, your web, all the electricity through them, and then you are storing that also. So that means any buffer electricity, whatever you store, you can also send back to the grid to sell it. And if you have any buffer at the grid, you can also use in your car. So that in that same scenario, it makes you the country at a country level. It makes our country very self-reliant. You know, the import bill reduction, everything from the point of view. And here, as a user, it empowers me that I am not dependent on any kind of that that my cost of vehicle is completely going down. Point one. Second, I am contributing towards the climate as well as. Third, I am able to sell as a surplus also. So if from every angle, if you see that EV will make more sense in the coming days, and then it will be fully greener with the integration of RE only. In RE, there is a wind, then solar power, hydrogen. These are the next technologies about to come. Today, Mr. Gadkari himself is gifted one India first hydrogen car. So these are some developments are happening. Today EV is less, I will say that because indirectly the problem with in this assessment is that our grid are not smart enough. Today we are lacking on our grid. They are coal powered. Second, they are not able to handle that. If we sell more EV, they are not able to handle electricity requirement. That's why in EV policy, Ministry of Power is also involved. So they have a mandate that they have to upgrade their charging electricity infra. So this question is directly linked that can we think upgrading our country electricity infra? It should not run by the coal, it should run by the RE or something else. So EV is a name, but the root cause we are talking something else.
Yeah, I mean electricity infra is a deep subject in itself because we have huge challenge not on the generation side but on the distribution side.
Yes,
especially with the state discoms and other companies, sitting with huge debt on their balance sheets for whatever reasons.
I heard government has made it easy because they have made something their balance sheet very attractive by just allowing some period where they can pay them without any interest. That's where all the financial book of power companies looking very attractive. Somewhere I read in one podcast.
No, I haven't followed that. So now coming back to the EV ecosystem, what are the different layers of the ecosystem? If you were to explain it to someone that this is the EV ecosystem in India. So walk us through different layers, right from manufacturing to what is reaching to the customer.
When we talk about the EV ecosystem, in a center stage, it's a rider. Then we can understand everything, So first, everyone has a combined as an industry. We have to convince to the user to use EV. That is the first, common shared goal. And for that, we have to talk first. It's a chicken egg story that first you will sell electric vehicle or first you will build charging infra. People say that if there is a better charging infra, then electric vehicle will get accepted. And then OEM will complain you there is no charging infra, why to launch EV? So we are in that bottleneck. But with the help of that, government policies, it's all getting solved. So when you talk the ecosystem, first is that the government plays its role by making policies. I will say policy at every level. They give PLI scheme. Earlier it was FAME 2. Recently, Honorable Modi, Mr. Modi has launched E-Drive, a scheme covering 10,900 within 2 years time span to promote electric vehicle promotion, both on demand side and creating a charging infra.
Mm-hmm.
Then they also support now currently some policies are getting built for battery storage.
Mm-hmm.
That's a future of because that country we are lacking on that a critical mining element of battery. That's still is important. So then it's auto vehicle maker. Since earlier it was just all contributed by the startups, then all the established brand were playing very slow role like TVS, then Bajaj, then Hero, etc. They were taking slow start. But the good part is that most of the OEM, including two-wheeler, three-wheeler, four-wheeler, are jointly talking about on the promotion of EV. Then there is a supply chain. Supply chain covers you all the parts, local manufacturing, promotion of that. Because still, if you first EV happened imported from China.
Mm-hmm.
If you talk 3-4 years back,
you mean the batteries?
Anything. They were just bringing a vehicle from China,
okay,
putting their logo and selling to the EV.
So these were assembled here, or
assembled here and selling to the user. That's where the experience of charging was not up to EV was not up to the mark. Now you will see that all the Chinese branded vehicle is getting outdated. Now all new brands they bring experiential services to the user, because EV can get personalized. Because while EV, it comes with a software experience. Software is, it has to be in your dashboard. If it's a two-wheeler, it's a cluster. Mm-hmm. If it's in a four-wheeler, you again have the infotainment screen where you see it, because they have to tell you the range anxiety, how fast you can go. They have to navigate to that point to reach to the charging. And then they also give you the mobile companion app. So you will have all the history, everything to that, and that's where they also collect the data of vehicle maker to improve the future version of the electric vehicle.
Correct.
So software plays a role here. That the battery management is also a software. The BMS plays a very integral part of EV. Using that BMS, IoT, all such data, they put the data in your companion app for the better experience. And combinedly, they will they have to also factor that all the terrain, all your driving behavior pattern, because EV give a different range to you, and because so many factor works. That while range calculation is a combination of vehicle weight, type, direction, wind direction, everything. It plays a very crucial role that how far it can go.
So when I think about automobile in general,
yeah,
I know that it has the most, if not the most, it has a very complex supply chain.
True.
Right? A single car can probably have, thousands of suppliers supplying different parts. Think about every car now has thousands of sensors, and then they may be coming. So downstream dependencies are numerous, right?
Yeah.
And that's why, in a crisis like COVID, this is the first industry to be hit, right?
True.
Because it's across continents, across countries, and within countries there could be, several layers, right? You can probably track till third layer, fourth layer, but beyond that, I think it's very difficult for smaller companies to track. So would you say the manufacturing for EV, I understand there are battery manufacturers, there are people who are making body parts. So is it similar level of complexity in EV as well?
In EV, actually started with the problem statement that how to build a good, effective supply chain. That's the real problem more than anything else, because government was giving some incentive, etc. But supply chain needs a little bit, it has some cost, quality, scale. That's where the supply chain falls. So till date, supply chain was just importing material from China. So from last 2 years, I saw that all the that good component maker, they are talking the local manufacturing. Recently, Minda is betting big on that. Boss is betting big on that. Basically, in EV, you need very less but quality. That is a powertrain. Powertrain covers everything: your a battery, motor, then a converter, everything combined. This is called powertrain. And second is your cluster that plays your electronic, because you have to provide some digital screen to the user, and then throttle, bots. So since evening was taking, EV was taking, some parts were here, some was imported, and then sales started because everyone asking that, okay, yeah, this cost is not viable. But now the good part is that it's already happening, and lots of manufacturing, because government is promoting in that direction. So most of the parts are getting manufactured in India. So now subject is that how efficient supply chain we are going to build. Whether some parts they are still bringing from outside, but government is promoting that, okay, PLI based scheme to promote local manufacturing, and that's the right trend.
And how does PLI work?
Initial PLI was based on local internalization based, that if you use maximum internalization vendor, say the local point, government was offering some incentive, but gradually now they are moving there. It was FAME 2, to be very frank, and I think FAME 2 is no more going to exist. Now it's a PME drive. So government has taken next step that they will try to procure EV vehicle. I think there was around 3,400 some money was for bus procurement. When government laid down, so I think that's the right move, because as an industry they can build it all the solution, but over that they can't generate the demand. We have to convince. The government only itself is a big buyer for they have so many offices, they purchase procurement part, so they are planning to all the procurement in government offices for the EV vehicle, to create a charging infra within their office premises for better charge. So that's a good sign.
Okay. So what I understood was that the supply chain is still in very nascent stage.
True.
It's still getting built up, and government is trying to stimulate the demand side so that people come and build the infra for manufacturing.
True.
Right. That's where we are.
Just to add in conversations, recently they just took there, there are some policies also that if any foreign company invest $500+ million, etc., they will allow them, because FDI, lots of rule regulations, because indirectly they were making this favorable for Tesla. So because when big brand comes, they will also bring their supply ecosystem. So I will say very soon we will be having very good supply chain ecosystem in India, because we have a ICE component maker, and whichever way EV sales automobile sector is moving, for them same line, etc., just making their local manufacturing, I don't see it's a big challenge.
And so many new players coming in, right? Like Ola, Bolt, across layers, charging infra, manufacturing, right? What does it mean for established OEMs in automobile? How have they sort of reacted to this?
This is a very nice question, honestly speaking. In EV space, these all are called technology partner innovators. In a word, any segment, because everyone start with a very small scale with their niche segment. BMSR partner is a battery management service. They do some niche, battery. They fine tune, the better battery management. Someone is working on their cluster experience. Someone is a mobile application, and that forces all the OEM also, the traditional OEM, to think about the cloud management. They must have, now I see that every OEM is rushing for their own mobile app. So every for EV space, earlier they were saying this is my vehicle, there will be charging company, there will be supplier, that's all. But that's not working, because they have to deliver the seamless experience, overall vehicle experience. So every OEM is building their own digital mobile app, which will cover entire software stack, and that's where you will hear that software-defined vehicle. What is software-defined vehicle? I personally, if you just go 5 years back,
Mm-hmm.
if you have visited any service center,
Mm-hmm.
they will simply say that this tomorrow, if any malfunction happen, you will go and report, and then they will tell you that this company will bring the solution. You come after 3 months, 6 months.
Mm.
So now what is happened with the support of OTA, over the air update? Now all OEM are upgrading their cloud services, and using that they will be releasing the update to their software. If they have built any software defined vehicle, so every 3 months they will release a new update automatically over there using your M2M SIM. You can upgrade it, and then your vehicle will be upgraded. So this is possible in EV, but you haven't heard this kind of the word in a a normal petrol ICE vehicle, because EV vehicle, when you are trying to sell, it gets sold as an applications, because in in a normal car you are just making a car and then you leave on the market, whether they are using as a private usage, a fleet usage, or commercial usage. You are list worried. Your job is about is making a car and then is sold. Let them enterprise figure out. But EV, what happens, every car OEM or two-wheeler, three-wheeler OEM, they have to walk one step ahead. Okay, who are my user? I have to fine tune my vehicle for my logistic purpose. If my Zomato is using, or Swiggy is using, or Amazon is using, because all they have their own SDG maintained. So you are thinking my vehicle will serve that that fleet requirement or not. Accordingly, you have to fine tune that vehicle model. Then personal usage, that has a different requirement. At the same time, you also have to think that somebody wants to modify the vehicle. If they have a little bit, now you see that L5M is a category where you will see that it's a log. Somebody is making vegetables to sell the vegetable. Somebody is using for the refrigerator or something. So to sell the vehicle, you have to make it little bit customized version as per your segment.
Mm.
So EV has, this is one of the big challenge. That's where overall scale looks a little bit very challenging, because some player is dominating in a two-wheeler, somebody is dominating a three-wheeler. Even within three-wheeler, somebody is servicing the passenger electric vehicle. Somebody is serving good in a commercial cargo segment. So somewhere that in the coming days, maybe this create a good opportunities for our established player, because they have a scale, muscle, everything.
Mm.
Overall, they can build a one-stop solution for end user. But for others, startup or a new age developer company, they have to grow significantly. First, they either bring the solution for two-wheeler, then three-wheeler in a passenger or cargo. They have to grow step by step.
So it's in phases then.
Yeah.
For automobile, long back, I think some investor told me this, that 80% of value is realized through after sales services after
Yes.
the vehicle has left the dealership, and then the replacement parts and after sales the value is created, right? And that's why these service centers and dealership centers, they play an important role, right? The day the car leaves the dealership, actually the OEM has not made any money, right? Is it same for cars in EV? Two-wheeler will come back, but for cars, is it same?
You are absolutely right. When you talk the ICE vehicle, literally all the value chain, down the value chain, they make money by, you will be used to receive the call by the dealer that your service is due. All we are used to get those kind of the calls, because first they get the money on the insurance sales. They then their I will say that first service, second service, third service, everywhere they will make money by selling
Correct.
all grease, etc. That's how the value chain make money. In ICE, that is the trend. But in EV, you are buying EV because your after sales service costs are negligible. Very few because the number of parts are less. So service cost is also 60-70% less. Normally,
Okay.
you will give for any car, your range will start 6,000 to 10,000.
Yeah.
Somehow it will
Usually.
fall as standard. But here, your servicing should happen 2,000 to 3,000 rupees maximum,
Okay.
and a standard servicing
Including taxes, right? Out the door.
overall, including taxes.
Okay.
But I'm not covering if any specific fault is there. What
Correct.
I'm a very standard normal servicing should go there. The point is that that's where I say that EV is getting sold as a mobility product. So the same dealer is servicing that they are going to sell to the B2B customer in their own area. And then dealer is going one step forward. They are creating their own, I will say that dealer operated charging station. That helps to demonstrate to nearby and win the confidence of the nearby vicinity user that charging infra is there. I'm here to sell the vehicle. Then they also latch on that nearby fleet operators, so that making money is there, but in a different way. It's not like a user is coming for a servicing, that's where you will make the money. You will make money by owning your charging network. Second, if any additional fleet operator tie-up they are doing, so even they haven't sold that vehicle, those vehicles will come for a charging, they will earn the money. So the process of making money by the servicing has been changed.
And out of all the players in the ecosystem at
True.
different layers, which companies do you think are doing interesting work?
Particularly any segment, because it has to go in.
So let's say in
battery. I know one company, Sizeny. I think
it's India based.
it's I think battery swapping company. Recently they raised 100 million. I know the founder very well in a personal capacity. But if you just going in let's go in a very reputed way. Both Amara Raja and Excite themselves are investing tons of money for battery storage capacities than advanced cell. In fact, big players, I think when the government has released some PLI scheme, Reliance has participated, then Ola has participated. For all they are in a rush to the government that, okay, I will set the gigafactory. So that setting gigafactory, it requires lots of capital.
Correct.
And all the big names are in that race. And news says that very soon, one very industry supporting law our ministry will bring. Battery storage, where India wants to be self-reliant to promote. I think yesterday you heard that around 16,000 some crore. Mr. Asani has found that some government support will be there. So government is betting big on energy storage and battery cell manufacturing.
Do we have enough raw materials for batteries in India?
No, still it's all imported. I think we are lacking on a mining. We need to have. This is area where government has to work on making favorable mining. I heard that all we have heard in the news that Jammu Kashmir has discovered some cobalt or some the minerals, but the challenge was that it will take a commercial stage. It will take another 5-10 years. So those kind of things where government will have to play the big role.
So let's imagine a typical two-wheeler battery.
Yeah.
What is it made of, and what is the percentage?
It's a battery pack. We say the battery pack, and that's where every vehicle has it's a battery pack associated, and that decide how smooth their charging vehicle running will be there. And now car has the battery pack, a kilowatt based. As higher the battery pack is there, the range will be better. And the good part is that now you will hear that every car is coming with a minimum 400, 500 in a range, so you don't have to worry that that my range, that how fast I can drive. If you drive fully your car at your home for 300, 400, and you are getting 300 to 400 range, is that's all, right? I don't think in a day you will be traveling more than that.
Coming back to the overall demand side, how is the demand across states? And then maybe you can throw some light on across two-wheeler, three-wheeler.
Well, I was just reading some statistics. So I was surprised to see that Delhi retain its number one positions in electric three-wheeler space. So most of electric three-wheelers are getting sold in Delhi. Second, Delhi also retain its number one position in electric bus. So all the government procurement of electric buses, the maximum number of buses has been procured by the Delhi government. But when we come on electric four-wheeler, I was surprised that most of electric car are sold in Maharashtra. Maharashtra is the number one, then Karnataka, then Kerala. So these are the things we have to go in a deep, and maybe that region would be that recently government of Maharashtra made mandatory that if every society will have 20% parking reserved for electric vehicle. So that's how this kind of the ground level infra is getting developed. So once you see the new builders are coming, they are reserving your parking electric ready. So then you simply say that, okay, I can buy it. So those kind of the state level, or I can talk about the bottleneck. Government of India at the central level, they make all the EV policy favorable.
Correct.
Then they live on the state level how to implement. And they make, that you can also add, you can make your own policy. So today, every state has its own EV policy. At a national level, we have our national EV policies. So it was looking as a favorable situation, but it's a bottleneck. There is now at this stage, it would be good if we have a same one nation, one EV policy. That will be awesome for the user perspective, automobile perspective, or any ecosystem perspective, because every tracing down to that this state has everyone will say that what is the EV meter rate in your society, in your state. It differs state to state, and then DISCOM has every DISCOM at the state level has a different approaches. So whatever government is making policy is not getting implemented at a grassroots level, because you follow the national level, then a state level, then DISCOM level. It's a bit pain item.
And what has government done well in addition to PLI to enable the overall EV ecosystem?
That digital program or Startup India program of Government of India, it has promoted a lot, because when I say startup, it covers all the innovations. So all
Correct.
Innovations in EV space happening in a silo, bits and pieces, in everyone one working their niche area. Battery, motor, electric infra, or when you say that Ola Electric or Ether, all one day they started their journey as a startup only. They were doing their all innovation product, then they grown it, they established their showroom, started sales and services. Today they are going to be public. I'm talking about Ether. So that atmosphere, I will say that it's a favorable, or I can say you. Last year on a first FAB, when Bharat Mobility event was there, Mr. Modi himself invited some of the innovator in a EV space shortlisted, and we were invited and to meet him. And Bull.Earth was fortunate. Our co-founder Mohit was there to present and talk and about our innovative product to Mr. Modi. So he himself is giving lots of opportunities to innovative startup to come and present, and because and additionally he's giving or also he has given a GST 5%.
Okay.
EV, when you buy any product which is falling under as a hardware product, the GST is at 5%. However, there is a bottleneck that other components, service part or components, that GST it attracts 18%. And as an industry body, we had requested them, is it possible that entire value chain, hardware, software, everything comes under GST 5%?
Mm-hmm.
So government is favorable to EV ecosystem. Still, we are expecting a lot.
Okay. And which country do you think we can learn from in terms of EV policy?
Everyone say Netherlands.
Okay.
Netherlands, in the sense that I was fortunate to visit Copenhagen, I think 3-4 years back. I saw that, the people are very conscious, and they drive the e-bike. They say e-bike to the e-cycle, and they drive very less normal day to day. They're going to office, everything. They just pick their cycle. They will go and park at their offices. Even they can take their bicycle to their train. From there, they can go there, or they promote lots of, I will say that last mile cycling program, ride sharing.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just go to your railway station. From there, you can pick the cycle. You can just go to work and again come back. You can drop to the nearby dock stations. So those kind of the public infra I had seen it. So you don't need your owning a vehicle. You can just come down to railway station and pick the bike and go there. All will be electric. And yeah.
But I think it's also about scale, right? In India, because of the population and the size of our cities, it's not very easy to replicate that.
The good part is that we understand software, and so you will see that every few months you will find new innovators in an EV space. Somebody is developing very unique product, and around software stack you will mostly find, or user experience. So once this, because now it's reaching to the maturity and more user friendly, so what will happen? Gradually we will reach to the scale, and that scale will definitely help us to bring the cost down, bring more efficient supply chain, and offer great user experience.
What about this new energy policy which we have been hearing about? When do you think it's coming, and what are the changes for EV?
New energy policy.
I think it's in pipeline, right?
It's in a pipeline, if I'm also right.
Yeah. So do you think they will have charging point at every petrol pump?
We anticipate in a new energy policy, to be very frank, that today there is a solar grid, and there are some surplus. So this will be, as an industry, we are seeing that there is a IRDA, something exchange body. They will be procuring charging and then distributing it.
Okay.
So around that very streamlined process has to be there, and government is working on that. So in tomorrow, even if we don't have a solar power nearby, we can buy from that exchange, to be very frank. That will be energy exchange. So I was going through one article, and something IRDA is working on that, and that would be game changer, because all the renewable power program, whatever surplus energy they will have, they would like to sell, because today what is happening, current electricity infra, more than 30-40% get electricity get damaged during transportation, because you can't store it. So using solar, they will be storing it and they will be selling it whenever it's needed. So sometime it's a very useful, because but just assume that in a remote area of that India, where still electricity has 24/7 is not accessible to the common people. So they can store in daytime. They would be having their own, that self-control when they want access, that they want to utilize those kind of the energy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think that will evolve over time, right?
This is the next big thing government will do towards society improvement.
Right. But this idea of, selling to the grid or taking on demand from the grid, has it been implemented in any country outside India?
I've seen this in Europe in certain part, but this is where entire industry fraternity is working as an innovator. They are working to bring this innovative solution. I think in 2020 I had chance to visit CS in Las
Okay.
Vegas. There I saw lots of company. They demonstrated certain applications, and so what is the concept of their first working vehicle to everything,
Mhm.
V2E. The concept is that every vehicle will have M2M chipset, encrypted one.
Mhm.
So it will talk, maintaining your data privacy. It will talk directly to that some server, and that server is centralized to, I will say that either government body, maybe at OEM level. That is a different part.
Mhm.
The point is that in case of emergency, if you have SOS button or anything, vehicle will also know that accident happened. Or because normally today, when accident happens, maybe you don't know the situation of that rider, that whether he's in a good situation to press it or anything. If any alarm happens through vehicle, and they know the condition accordingly, this can go to that SOS to the emergency. So in that situation, you just estimate that without informing police stations, ambulance, they know that some incidents happen or they need emergency help. That is possible because the vehicle is sending data to that central repository or your predefined emergency number or emergency helpline. Second scenario is that now in a coming time, every vehicle will be a connected vehicle. Uh, uh, Along with AI/ML use case, with uh, tightly integrated with the Internet of Things with multiple sensors. So if it will see that you are coming closer to any next vehicle, it can give you some beep in advance, or you want to maintain the lane, or you want to share your location. You want to share the location with your near one or dear one. Ki you can see where I am, etc. Today is also happening in a bits and pieces, but it's not happening in a very professional way where your data privacy is also taken care of.
Correct.
So today you can just insert one telematics device where it comes with a SIM, but you are not worried that how your data is getting utilized. So in coming days, every OEM will play the mobility role. They are going to introduce cybersecurity in your car software stack. Then before you come to your vehicle, you can switch on. You can switch on your AC. You can maintain the temperature, and in fact, smart charging will also happen in a coming time. You can just keep your charging on, and you will control everything from a mobile phone. So entire today, whatever today, combining ICE and EV as automobile, it's moving toward connected automotive. They are going to bring you already today. MG Hector has launched level 2 autonomous. So next big thing, I don't know. India is not ready for autonomous, but we will have the semi-autonomous like ADAS ready vehicle. So more and more sensor will come in a car that will be connected, and that's where OEM are forced to bring personalized, seamless experience to the user. So without software, you can't predict the future vehicle.
Correct. And why do you say that India can't have autonomous? Because our roads are so messy.
I was fortunate to little bit get some POC work from one of the reputed car OEM
In India.
in India. And
Recently or longer?
no, when I was serving MapMyIndia, so we were talking on online of the autonomous. So in fact, MapMyIndia on one of that a startup that is called Vittech. They work in autonomous technology. So I was associated in that. And, what happened? We realized with the OEM that of course because in India anyone can just cross in a busy road. You see the people is giving hand and they are crossing. This is natural. So where we think India will moving forward, that is autonomous experience on highways. Maybe that down to 5 years, 10 years. That's where we are moving forward. That is the one use case that you want on a highway autonomous experience, and then you want to control in a city. So that looks very promising. Second use case is autonomous tractor. So because where there is a big farm is there and you would like to fit the entire route of that, the tractor, each and everything for farming, etc. So in a fix where people are not coming, you would like to fix it. That's just one scenario. Third is autonomous use case is going to happen, that is in a drone. So these are the 3-4 application area where autonomous technology will get used, but the level of autonomy, because these features come with a huge cost. LiDAR itself is a very, very costly, because when we reach out to that one of the LiDAR company for the cost, they had given around 80 to 90 lakhs. So it looks very fancy to hear. We will be talking about autonomous. The cost of autonomous car will be not less than 2 CR. Then affordability will come a question that, okay, do we want that luxury? Credit goes to the Elon Musk, because he was completely saying that, okay, no, we don't need LiDAR for autonomous. We can use the same experience we can offer by using that computer vision. So with the progress in technology space, if we are able to deliver this approximate same experience of autonomous using I will say AI powered computer vision, camera, etc., then cost will be completely 1/3. So these are the development. Even I am excited. I keep watching, but I can't commit on that. When this will happen? These are some I know, because I know a few industry friends, and I also personally, to be very frank, whenever those kind of the friends they meet, we just sit for 1 hour brainstorming. Okay, whether this is feasible, that what challenge, etc. I enjoy that talk.
Now, I think let's talk about the early stage ecosystem, because you have been investing in startups. So talk about your, how did you start investing into startups, and maybe some experiences which are interesting from a learning perspective.
True. Accidentally, I became angel investor. Not logically, but what happened, I think I made that founding team of World Health, and they said they are raising a fund. And I didn't have any clue about it. So I said, can you also take me? So I was just saying, they will just say this, and I didn't know any terminology of that, the funding, etc. And finally, he said, the moment lead investor will come, then I will inform you. So I know what is the meaning. I didn't understand the term of lead investor, but I trusted him, the gentleman. Finally, that incident happened. I took that bold call, and you will surprised. It was a COVID area. During that time, people were taking all investment back, safeguarding their money, and I was little bit excited. Without knowing the economics, anything, I took the bold call. I was investing, so I did it. But thanks to that, this team, this investment is still safe. and they really made a good progress. I am amazed to see the journey what Bordetert has achieved so far. That's one. Second, since I have been in a software industry only, so I understand. So I reach out to them only.
Mhm.
Second, I tried one defense tech company. That company name is Eviqui Technology, based in Dehradun, and they are in a very niche space. They build a software solution for military intelligence, and so military intelligence is a various because it's always little bit they keep it a confidential. So ISR based using geolocation technology plus intelligence using some lidar sensor data etc. They deliver to that to military use case. Plus they do have another uh, segment that is called precision manufacturing. So basically that falls under mechatronics. Whatever very to build that application and the solution etc. Whatever a minute precision parts need to be manufactured, they have entire setup in house. So they are well combined, and that's where I think that company is also doing good. I think I'm happy to see the progress. Third, I would be completing my financial transaction with a second life of battery company. So with the help of, with the use of IoT and AI use case, they will be offering seamless second life of battery services to the user. And so these are my journey where I did it. And apart from that, what happened, because I have a limited source of money, so I just involved here, and then I keep interacting with lots of tech founder. I love my interactions. So if you want any mentoring, any kind of that, the support, I do free of cost. I just help them because I now I learned that, you at certain stage, if you're helping, then you also learn from there and the new tech startup. The good part is that they are building solution, but all they struggle in scaling it up.
Hmm.
For their absolutely, that you will find all the new tech startups are absolutely innovative. They understand tech far better than us. They understand the new way of that the customer buying pattern, everything. But when you talk about a scaling, they where they struggle while building the product, they build a tech environment sentiment around the entire ecosystem or within organizations. But when you take your product to the market, then you have to build your ground level team, your support ecosystem, your supply chain, each and everything. So then blending both the that the culture of the customer, uh, your that ground team, operational work, etc. It's a really big challenge for them, because you will find that that techie has a different way of that they want very peaceful culture, cool mindset, but the ground you will find a different story.
Hmm.
So, but a good entrepreneur knows how to balance the both, and that is, I think, that's how I see it. And that they have to be a little bit innovate and make the product. They must hear out the customer on the ground, and they should experience those bite, and that will help them.
So I think it has to be a balance between creativity and commercial mindset. No?
Creativity is a one part. That's what you say, the design thinking, you are innovating something, you
Correct.
are good. Because that's how you start. You brainstorm idea, you take the problem statement, and you devote some time to figure it out how to, that which pattern, which is the efficient way. But what happens that once you roll out your product to the actual user,
Mhm.
and you will see that, a customer has some different pain point also. The point is that your idea is okay, you are building the right product, that is also okay, but whether someone will pay for or not, that's a different economics.
Hmm.
And even if he's paying, is it profitable for organization? Is not. It's again a different topic. So are you building a product which is solving the pain point of the customer? At the same time, is it viable for your organization? So a good entrepreneur knows both the points, because
Correct.
just being innovator and then it's not commercially viable, then you are taking a risk that your idea may hit or he may go down. So it's a I come with a the traditional mindset, to be very frank, that okay, business economics first. At the same time, that okay, tech solution, if that is help me to solve the customer need. At the same time, I feel that it's our collective effort that to visualize that this is a profitable venture. If not today, at least can it be after 2-3 years? So that we can figure it out in a very early days, and entrepreneurs should know it. They should not blame after a certain stage that, oh, I tried my luck, economics not working, because within 2-3 months of your business, the rollout of the product, you can easily come to know that the nature of your paying customer. Will it be profitable, not profitable? I don't think it will take too much time.
Correct. And what are some of the good practices which you have noticed, and some things which you want founders to be more careful about, especially in the 0 to 1 phase?
0 to 1 phase, what I saw that the young generations, with the help of their most of the good R&D. I think you will find that good team has good R&D practices, and most of the tool there
On the tech side.
Tech side. Initially, it was not easily accessible, but nowadays, if you have lots of research material, and that helps you, you can do all starting from that. And personally, after interacting so many founder and investor, since I'm fortunate to be a part of Delhi NCR team member as well as, so what I learned that initial time a good founding team should invest money more in prototype. The better prototype will tell 10 more things than just having that rosy picture. So you should create you should have 2-3 rounds of you should reach a certain stage of prototype. It's not just prototype to show the product. You should be confident enough internally that if we are making alpha, then beta, certain stage you have to reach where you think that your product is commercially viable. When you are building your product, you along with your team, you should be transparent enough that whatever you are building is it commercially viable or not. If you are just because I met few research person also, and they say that I am doing for fun, I am doing some research work. So their job is simplified. But you are building a team, and you are also along with you as a founder, some team members who has also doing left their job, they are joining with you. So if you make you along with your team, that whatever your idea is there, have you reached to that particular stage where you can say it's a commercially fit? Normally you will hear that it's a product market fit. That's a start. I'm not saying that's wrong. It's a good practice. But because at the end of the day, you are building organization. Product discussion start from the product vision. Then you go to the business along the economics, that whether it's a market fit, it's commercially viable or not viable, somebody is taker or not. And then you have to build on top of that your organization value. Because you have to find some niche area where to, or profitability or something, that where your strength lies. So I found that, that a founder will talk everything, but they feel hesitant that whether their product is commercially viable or not. I personally, there is another word, one more suggestion I would like to give founder. There's one word is runway. In a startup world, you will find that that today some Gen Z startup, they will just talk ideate, going with the flow, a story, everything, and they will not share with your team that how much runway they have left. So the point is that after 6 months, so many theory, logic, innovation, everything, and then you are saying your team member, "Ki, I'm out of my budget, each and everything, or whatever." Then you have to go with a firing, cost cutting, everything. Then what will happen? You are compromising with your product. So basically, when you are going on this journey, ideate, then reach to that I will say the prototype stage. Then again reach to the stable prototype stage. No one can make in the first 2-3 efforts, then you have good product. So that they should hear, okay, I am making a first prototype, fine tune within 2-3 months.
Correct.
It's as a team.
Correct.
Then go for a commercial viability. Debate as a team. Whoever is a co-founder, CFO, whatever role is there, they should be confident enough. Okay, now I will take my bet. They should have at least 1 year runway on that stage. What is happening? 2-3 founders I made, they will just think that, okay, you take 10 lakh, okay, they will just reach to that prototype stage, and then they have a blind faith that in one day, one investor will jump. Today, all investors are a little bit, they don't like to hear only rosy picture. Now they want some business economics on table. So my advice is that they should start once they have their own fund to start from ideate to prototype, then prototype to the stable prototype, because you have to demonstrate to your customer or everything. They will give you 10 suggestions. So at least this journey you must have your own pocket.
Correct.
You should fund from your own pocket. After that, it would be better then you go for family and friend round for your next 1 year minimum runway before you go for any investor. So that should be supported by family and friend round for your next 1 year. I will say that that is your team building, those kind of exercise, or reaching to the customer, because there is a cost to customer acquisition.
Correct.
So Gen Z will plan you ideate, prototype, and they don't factor the cost to customer acquisition. So of course, B2C model is different. I have a less experience of B2C sales, so I'm not commenting. I am commenting on B2B. So B2B sales takes its own sweet time. And if you are going to sell product A, you will hear that customer has need of A plus B, and then you will hear that at the end of the day, you have sold customer A plus B plus C. You have to commit, because he has that requirement on top of your product. They are looking for a solution. So B2B, the sales cycle is longer.
Okay. What about young founders who don't have experience in B2B sales, but they have an idea and they want to build in B2B? How should they go about it? Because in the beginning, they cannot bring experienced team. So how do they go about it? Reach out to people like you, probably.
First thing, because either founder will be strong in a product building, or he would have the strong background of the solutioning. So somehow he has to, with his core team, co-founder or founding team, etc., he should be smart enough to reach to the prototype stage. And what will happen, my experience is in a B2B, until unless you don't have prototype, you can meet 5 people, you can just interact in a personal capacity, or you can just share your story, that people will give you the idea and feedback.
Correct.
If your goal is to just to get feedback, then it's okay, good. But always stitch your next 1 year to your goal and with a ready prototype. Then only I think that helps you to pitch your product, because B2B, the people, because when you reach to B2B, you are reaching your established customer. When you're looking any paying customer, you will find either he's already in a 5-10 years practice of corporate.
Correct.
Then only he can pay you. In B2B, a good founder knows that his success lies with a better prototype product. And then if you're reaching to that, industry people for suggestions, a building team, they also, because in B2B, you want that someone experienced team to join. He would like to see what you are building. So,
correct.
So my suggestion is that, finish your product to the prototype stage, and then go for a team scouting, then customer scouting. Before that, it's a input that's of in a personal capacity, your friend, family, customer can give you. That's not a challenge. Because in B2B, what will happen? Product plays one part, cost economics plays one part. Third, before any sales, you will face some competition as well as some compliances issue will come. Some minimum requirement on financial side, your company should be registered, this ISO certificate, lots of things will come. These are the another challenge. So you need not the 1 year, you need minimum 2 years runway.
Okay. So 2 years before you do your first sales or register any revenue. In the first round, you're suggesting till the the prototype 1, you should have savings to sort of reach there. Either co-founders have put that together or however, and then after prototype 1, you do a friends and family, reach another state, and then you think about professional money or reaching out.
As you know that discussion or interest by VC or anyone, it takes its own time.
Correct.
And then the next level of discussion takes its own sweet time when the legal comes in between, and before issuing a check, anytime they can turn you down. So what happens? They will think they are talking, and accordingly they will make a plan. But till the time check has not arrived, they can't invest. So the point is that at the same time, they have a challenge of increasing the team, building the solution, and committing to the OEM, any customers. So till the time fund has not arrived, they can't service any customer, prospect. And even the prospect will take a minimum 6 month time to say yes or no. And after that, your project execution will take another 5-6 month time. So actual revenue by the customer pocket is not coming less than 2 years for any new B2B product. Maybe if you are a little bit very innovative, you are building a very niche product which customer need from the day one, that story is different.
But that's rare.
That's a rare.
Anything for the investors who maybe have invested already or are thinking of deploying more into the early stage ecosystem, whether as a part of syndicate or through AIF or through angel funds, how should they think? Like, what are the markers of a good founder?
What happened? One of that event in Thailand here, I attended, and I ended my note that I don't take bet on SAM, TAM. I literally hate. What happened?
The market size.
Yes. Because today you will hear that, VC, etc., they will ask them, ki craft a bigger story, show me your TAM, SAM. What I noticed, all Gen Z comes and they will say the India market has 1.4 billion as a population. Out of that, so many internet penetrations, and I want to serve 1%. Everyone will say you the same story. You just go the 10 pitch deck, you will find that they are pointing it out that India internet story, and then in SAM they will say you they just want their time is bigger. They want to serve 1%, and 1% they will say you that even they serve 1%, it will be 10 billion, 20 billion, etc. So I realized that maybe investor wants a rosy picture. So I sympathize this on founder side, that you are not ready to hear the truth. Because if someone say that I'm building my product, it take time and I will service just 5-10 CR immediate. So I found this is an injustice with a founder also, that investor community is not ready to hear any truth. If you just share, they will say it's a short market. They will just give you 10 excuses. So they enjoy those kind of that false picture. So my suggestion with investor community is that please, if anyone says that I will serve 10 billion, 20 billion, ask them, can you just find 5 customers? Until unless someone that doesn't have capacities, talent to onboard, here again I'm talking B2B space, that 5 good quality customer, how you can talk about uh, that 10 billion, 20 billion market size. So I said 2-3 round of meeting. I found that it's a completely wrong, unethical by the investor community.
To promote that behavior.
Because you want to asking that tell your TAM should be bigger. They link Indian internet story. Then you want to hear SAM should be bigger. They just link 1%. And then result is that they will talk you that, okay, my TAM is so much billion, SAM is so much billion. And you enjoy, oh yes, out of that, if I just get this, so this will fly 10, it will give 10x return. So I found that, and how I'm telling you, let me also give you the reference. I met the person, Mr. He's based in I can't name, I forgot. So, from his mouth, being as an investor, he's running his own VC firm, and he was criticizing that, the VC community.
Okay.
So, that's how it was eye-opening, and yeah.
So, having a problem, real problem,
Yeah.
and having a proof of concept, having onboarded few paying customers or even not paying, then some POC.
Or let me correlate the statement of Mr. Tarun from Ether Energy, that he said ki we made our pitch deck, each and everything, and when he invested his first pitching to Mr. Bansal, Flipkart, so he said कि उस समय में I had given an overall investment of to build a solution around 6 to 7 CR. बोलता किसी को कुछ पता ही नहीं होता that how much it is going to cost overall to reach to that, that commercial situation.
Correct.
So he said I had to commit, I planned, whatever I was knowing, I committed. So my first overall cost requirement was, to build that solution, we quoted, let's quote 6 to 7 CR. But after that, they said gradually, the moment we started building it, today, how many million, I don't know how many million USD dollar they have already burned it. So that, I'm just saying that he accepted the first 2 years.
They had no idea.
They didn't have any proper idea because they were doing prototyping. You don't reach to the paying customer, then what you do? You build your certain patent filing. So that's how you are surviving in B2B. So either if you are saying you are working, you are solving the user problem, that means either you are generating some IP. That what then you have to sell to your investor. Okay, this is my innovative product. Here some patent is there, or here is my IP. Your unique propositions are there. All that they will bank you. So initial stage, because they are innovator. So either they are master, they have too much experience from their same field, they were doing some job, then they are starting, they can give the better insight.
Correct.
But if they are is a tech innovator, they need their own time.
And are you optimistic about early stage ecosystem in India in the coming decade or so? What is your sentiment?
Current trend, I will say that all the VC when I met in the sector, they say that they have a logic of spray
and
pray. That's not going to work anymore. Okay. That's what I know. I go and meet and enjoy their company. So I keep hearing their word, and I realize that this is not going to work. And that suddenly after some, I will say that response on after IPO success of, or I will say the Paytm, etc., where they lost lots of money, like Paytm, etc., those kind of new age. And then everyone, all the investment fraternity, they are looking forward how much your revenue generations. That is a good sign. So that will be sustainable, because now they're going towards business economics.
Hmm.
But before that, they were under FOMO. Whether they will miss this opportunity, that opportunity, but you will see that they easily turn it down.
Yeah. Any last word? Anything you want to add?
Now I think I enjoy. I still remember our first conversation where when I met you, you were very disciplined, and I met you to learn a little bit about your days of what was the research firm you were working.
Moody's? No, BCG.
BCG, yeah.
Mhm.
And then you given me some tips around, okay, this is the way you should learn, read this book, etc. Your reading habits, etc. And on that day, I thought little bit I will try to imbibe in myself also. And then recently, I saw one podcast of yours with Professor Dhruvnath.
Yeah.
And you will be glad that when I met him, I was fortunate to get one book by him, written by him. Autograph was signed by him. So this is what I'm going to read, and I personally promise that in the next few days, I will try to complete. So I'm a big fan of Professor Dhruvnath. And the good part, he still count himself a young Jan. So I am just thanking him. I think I met him 2-3 times, and I feel good. Like I think he's full of the energy.
Correct.
I think
and his journey at NIIT, right? 2-3 decades which he spent there in sales.
Okay.
B2B sales.
Okay.
Whenever you meet him next, he has many stories of NIIT became a huge company, still is, and and then he went back to teaching and now writing, and he has so many stories about let's say Mr. Sandeep Bikhchandani or the Ernie Cons is the book,
yes.
Right? So yeah, he has a lot of stories.
A lot of wisdom. I think lots of things to learn, and I met 2-3 times. And one event I was there was an event where we were invited to hear his some of the notes. He was a speaker, and awesome. And he ended that he said that I have few books. I will give to the selected people, and somehow I raised my hand early, and then he was kind enough that he signed and he gifted me. So yeah.
So thank you for coming, and
my
then
pleasure.
We'll sit again and discuss more.
Sure.
One thing we have not touched today is about tech part.
Yes.
So I think we should sit sometime again, especially around automobile tech. What is happening, right? And would like to discuss more on that.
It's my deep honor. I think I really enjoyed today's session, and wish you good luck for all the journey. You are contributing good things. I saw your journey. You started. You are helping all the new age founders to streamline their process. Lots of support you are offering, and I'm not sure they can harness their productivity easily with taking your help.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.